Everybody, so just before last night's live stream, I said I had a kick-ass game of Star Wars Battlefront, and this is the game you are looking at right now. I actually started out a little slow, but I managed to get my hands on a hero pickup. I was playing as Jin from Star Wars Rogue One, and that sort of got me into a bit of a groove. I was sticking with the A28OC at the very beginning of the game, and I managed to plow my way through until eventually we got to the final set of uplinks in Walker Assault. I switched over to the DL44. Is it DL44? You guys know what I mean. The freaking handgun that I'm always bloody using. And I absolutely destroyed, and we finished this game with 72 kills and 9 deaths. I'm pretty sure it was something along those lines. I'll let you guys watch. The real thing I want to talk about in this video is people are wondering why I'm not super excited or why I haven't pre-ordered Star Wars Battlefront 2. Now, there's a few things I want to talk about, as well as a couple of things I've learned from the alpha, which is just finished today, or the day that you're probably waking up from if you're over in the States or in parts of Europe. And there's one big reason. Now, I do not get excited for games anymore, and that's just gaming in general. That's not Star Wars Battlefront, that's not EA or any company specific thing. I'm just not, I just refuse to get excited. I refuse to pre-order, and that's sort of my little personal protest into how games are being made and sold these days. Games are becoming very small, companies are relying on DLC, and hopefully after EA's big change when it comes to Star Wars Battlefront 2, we're not releasing any splitting DLC, and by splitting I mean splitting up the community, no restricted maps or characters or anything like that. They've decided to go with loot crates. So there's a couple of things I want to talk to you guys about that in this video, but we'll get to that in a minute. But I find that games are becoming a lot shorter, and pre-ordering games just lets you know that you're going to buy it whether that game is good or whether that game is bad. I usually wait for a game to come out before I actually purchase it. I want to see what other people think. I don't want to be disappointed like people were with No Man's Sky or Destiny or anything like that. Destiny was the last game I had full hype for. I was watching every video. I had updates and things coming. Whenever Bungie put out their weekly update onto their website and onto their app, I was on that within seconds. I was all over Destiny. I knew everything there was to know before that game came out, and then the game did come out, and yeah, I was not happy. I was not a happy chappy, and so from that day forth, I refused to pre-order games, at least. So Star Wars Battlefront 2, I definitely will be getting. Keep that in mind. Like, just because I'm not pre-ordering it doesn't mean I'm not going to get it. I just don't want to give some of these companies the satisfaction of knowing that they've already made money out of me before the game has even come out. So I will be probably picking it up on day one, but I will not be going, and I will not be pre-ordering it before the game comes out. The other thing is getting more specific when it comes to Star Wars Battlefront 2. I'm very skeptical when it comes out. Now, a lot of people have been saying, but there's no DLC and anything like that. I'm still not convinced, and I never will be convinced with gaming ever again. Until they've changed my mind, I will remain skeptical, just so when it comes out, I'm not going to be disappointed. I want to be excited when it comes out. I want to be playing it over and over again. Now, we've got some information from the alpha about these loot crates that I want to talk to you guys about. Now, this is coming from an article from DVS Gaming. So this is information that those guys have put out on their website, which I actually found through a new gaming app called Appy Gamer. Go and check that out if you want to keep up with gaming news, and that's pretty much where I'm going to be going through to get my information to you guys out. Also, one thing before I continue, let me know, guys, do you like this style of video where I'm just talking over some gameplay and stuff like that? Because I think this is something I would really enjoy putting out a bit more, something I can do a little easier, and I'm not so harsh on myself. I was talking about this in the live stream yesterday, so if any of you guys were there, otherwise let me know when I'm in my next live stream. You guys can ask me personal questions there. But anyway, continuing on, the second big change in Star Wars Battlefront 2, they begin, of loot boxes. Now, these are something that we've seen quite a bit coming recently in games like Overwatch. They're doing very, very well. But it seems like it doesn't seem enough for me. EA have always been a company that are very based around money. They want to make a big profit, a big profit. And for them, with games like FIFA, they make enormous amounts of monies by microtransactions. However, things like Battlefield 1 coming out recently, people are not sticking with their games, and I think DLC, people are finally starting to have a bit of a dispute with that. People are actually refusing to buy DLC. People are buying it and they're not really playing it. It's splitting communities, and they're starting to notice that. So they need to take a different approach. These loot boxes in games like Overwatch, I think, are really cool. In games like Rocket League, they also work really well when they're not actually something that inflict the gameplay directly as such. They don't split the community, but when there's stuff where it's actually, you know, different skins, different customization options, just little extras that don't really inflict much on the gameplay as such, but really just on your personalization and just to add a little extra element if you're happy with the amount that you've spent on the game. As long as we get a good amount of actual video game in the product without having to pay extra money for more maps and things, and generally people are going to be pretty happy. However, when it comes to EA, personally, I don't really trust it, and especially when I read this article this afternoon. Now, there are 3 types of drops that we've seen from these crates, and that includes star cards, credits, and scraps. Now, star cards in these boxes are absolutely nothing like you'll have seen in the Star Wars Battlefront 1. They have changed them, however, they are still upgrades that can be slotted into any class or hero, the article reads. Now, there are 4 different slots for these cards for each character, for each type of card there are 5 rarities, that is common, uncommon, rare, epic, and legendary. So these upgrades do inflict the game directly. Now, this is things like you'll have Darth Maul will have 15% less damage from such and so on and so forth. Things that upgrade your defense, upgrade your attack, upgrade your levels. Now, they can be purchased with in-game currency. However, I feel that those are probably going to be incredibly difficult to obtain if you're not going through game. It's sort of like if you want to get a new character in Rainbow Six Siege, it's going to cost you 25,000 credits, which is it's going to take a long time to get there. Now, when you're talking about small boxes, if those things cost quite a lot, it's going to be a case where some people are going to get hooked. They're going to put a lot of money into this game. They're going to be buying boxes after boxes after boxes of these crates. And I'm still not convinced. I don't want this to turn into people who have put all that money into the game end up controlling the game. Another good example of somewhere though this happens quite a lot is in games like NBA 2K, where if you're playing My Player, some people put enormous amounts of real money into that game and end up with teams on my team, characters in my career that are just ridiculously good, that no one can possibly beat. On games like Clash of Clans, you can tell straight away which people have put cash into that game and which people have not, and it makes the game practically impossible for people who haven't spent any money. So these guys now EA are not releasing any map DLCs or anything like that, so no splitting of community will be seen, so that is a huge plus. However, at the same time, I still remain skeptical. I remain skeptical of every game that comes out nowadays, and especially with EA and their history of massive DLC passes. I'm not fully convinced that this game will be too good for everybody, including those that are not paying money. Hopefully it will be. Honestly, I really do hope I'm talking a load of shit, and that when the game actually comes out, it turns out to be pretty damn even. I just don't want people to put cash into the game to get an advantage, and it says in this article specifically, straight from EA, that it will affect gameplay, and if it affects gameplay, I am not happy. But that's just my opinion. This is completely unscripted video, so if I'm talking a load of crap or if I start rambling, very sorry guys. I'm going to try and put a lot more of these videos out, but I want to hear what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think about these loot boxes? Are you pre-ordering Battlefront? What else are you doing? Let me know about all your thoughts. I will keep you guys updated on other news stories that I find entertaining and that I find keen. Let me know in the comments below what you think, and I'll catch you in the next video. TK out. Have a good one.